So Dell, we have an end-to-end portfolio of products and solutions, and we address each one of those items that we talk about. Mobility comes back to there's a whole value proposition from Dell in the mobility space, and it incorporates bring your own device. Bring your own device as a solution is not the answer. The answer is about what's the workload and how do customers want their internal organizations to attach. How do they want their customers or their vendors to attach into their IT systems? And then how do they make their IT systems accessible and available to those customers? Right, and it might well be across multiple platforms, might well be across multiple operating systems and multiple devices. So there's a plethora of devices out there. There's from laptops, there's desktops, tablets. Tablets is obviously, we've seen tremendous growth in the tablet space, etc. We have a value proposition that can help customers migrate that and navigate that very, very complex path around how to connect to an IT system. So whether it's about helping customers develop and build mobile applications, wrap their applications, make them available, whether it is about how do you secure that environment, whether it is about, are you using a standard Wintel environment or are you using some level of virtualization in that environment. We have a value proposition right across that connect space. If you look at the transformation of organizations and IT, that's a tremendous challenge that customers are sitting with today. There are customers that have significant investment in infrastructure today that are being challenged to say, how do we get into the cloud? Right? Cloud is a large discussion, and people are talking about it. And the problem for the IT director and the CIOs is often their people within their organizations are driving the cloud discussion without necessarily understanding the complexity of their current environment. So it's a journey to the cloud, and we have a full value proposition again that talks around how do you get to the cloud, how do you get there through consolidation, virtualization, how do you get there in terms of a private cloud, a hybrid cloud, and we have a number of options around that, from consultancy all the way through to an actual cloud offering, whether it be private or whether it be a public cloud. And Dell, we're working with many of the largest cloud providers to work with them as brokers of the cloud. All right. So we've got some amazing assets around managing your infrastructure when you're in the private public cloud, and how do you manage that infrastructure across them both. So you spoke to Boomi. Boomi is just a beautiful little product. It's a fantastic product. The opportunity to say, how do you move data between disparate systems, whether it be SAP to Oracle, whether it be from private cloud to public cloud, public back to private, private to private, what systems are you using? And Boomi is the world-leading product in that space. Many customers wouldn't know that about Dell. Unfortunately, we don't get to enough customers to talk about the end-to-end solutions. The same when it comes to our storage value propositions, our networking value propositions, our server value propositions. We're changing the dynamics of storage, right? Because the way that companies procure storage and have had to replace their storage infrastructure every 4 years is a thing of the past. You don't have to get rid of infrastructure that works. By the way, our competitors will make you do that, but you don't. With our product set, you buy your software license once. You don't, when you want to buy additional product into the future, you have a perennial license, perpetual licensing. It's revolutionary in the industry about how do you manage data? How do you reduce cost? And we have all of that to offer to customers. All right, and customers are coming across. I had a great discussion with a customer recently who'd procured our product and had bought some of our storage assets. And as I always do, I asked him about a user experience. And he said, well, we had a couple of problems. And initially I was like, what problems? Was the product late? Did this happen? He said, and if it wasn't for the Dell Compellant product that I had, my business would have been in real trouble. That's the kind of problem that we solve, all right, with some of these assets. If we talk about if you talk about big data, big data is a really interesting topic, but it's not a single solution. It is about do you have the right data in the right place at the right cost, available for the right people, right? And then how do you analyze that and how do you bring that forward? So we got that full value proposition and a consultancy program that will walk customers through that, right? And security becomes a massive value proposition now from Dell. And it's more than just security. We like to talk about connected security, because security really comes from several points. One is your endpoint device that you purchase, your desktop, your notebook, your tablet, your phone. What is the security? What are the embedded security components on that device? And then it goes all the way in terms of connecting. What is your firewalls? How do you keep the bad guys out and the good guys in? Right? It's things like authentication software onto the networks, right? But we also have a managed service available through our SecureWorks offering, Dell SecureWorks, which is a managed service, which manages and tracks 60 billion security events every single day as a managed services through dedicated security operations and hubs. We have in excess of 2,000 security professionals working at Dell and helping customers keep the bad guys out, right? Whether it be consulting or whether it be a managed service in which we immunize and help customers develop and build robust infrastructure, all right? We have all of that. So we have a value proposition. I get excited about when I talk about it, because it's way more than just the traditional Dell that many, many people still see. All right, Dell, the company that did an amazing, amazing job in revolutionizing this industry. And we would take a significant amount of pride as Dell to say we helped change this industry. Michael Dell made technology available to the masses in this industry at a better price point, more available, more accessible than any other company in this industry, right? So it's a tremendous heritage. We've done it once in the on the client side, and we have value propositions in the enterprise space that will change this industry again. I don't have as an organization, you always have short, medium, long-term goals. If I were to distill it down into certain areas, right, my responsibility as the leader of this business is across multiple areas. One is build sustainability. This is not about saying we had a great year this year, we beat the market this quarter. This is about building a business and a sustainable business and capability and capacity that allows us to exceed and beat our internal metrics, as well as exceed and beat the expectations of our customers. So sustainable business. And that sustainable business has a number of components and elements. One is around the customer. So how do we engage? How do we interact with customers? Are we acquiring new customers? Are we developing existing customers? And are we delighting customers that already trust Dell for their infrastructure and infrastructural requirements? The second element is the channel, right? Because we are an indirect organization, primarily in the Middle East. And I say primarily because some of our largest services engagements are non-channel conflicting. But if we look at the stuff at the pure infrastructure level, we're 100% channel focused. So our channel has to be able and capable. The channel has to be able to identify opportunity. The channel should be able to progress that opportunity and close that opportunity and deploy and install all of our products as if they were Dell. Okay, and that is an ongoing process. So we have channel programs and everything else. So that's a real focus within the business, both short, medium, and long term. And then it's about getting out. It's about getting out. It's if you ask me personally, don't sit behind my desk. All right, don't sit behind the desk and become internally focused. Don't sit behind the desk and look at email and Excel spreadsheets and graphs, and we can analyze ourselves to death. Okay. But this is about saying, get out, get in front of customers, talk to the channel, get there to understand the dynamics that they are looking for. All right? And if we're able to address the dynamics that they're looking for with the portfolio and the processes that are available within our organization, we will have a winning formula. Not just this year, but certainly through 2020 and beyond. If you were to say anecdotally, where would I like to be? Beat the market in every quarter, in every addressable area that we operate in. But we beat it by delighting our customers, because customers talk, okay? And customers share experience with other customers, right? And we hold ourselves accountable to them. And frankly, if we deliver against that mandate, this company, this team will be successful. So if you were to say my measure of personal success is when I move on, or I leave this business and I go somewhere else, or I do a different job, does this business to continue to delight customers and beat the market? And if that's my legacy as the leader of this business, I would have achieved my goals. You know, people within the organization are the foundation for local success. The global organizations are responsible for delivering the global strategies, the global products, the global solutions that we as team members bring to the regions that we operate in and that we're responsible for. So our team, part of my job is to attract the best, motivated and engaged people in the industry, right? But how do we invest in them in terms of training, certifications, etc.? And there's significant programs that we run and continue to run, and we will enhance. Our channel is part of the same program. Okay, and over the last several years, Dell has globally been recognized and seen to be having huge investment and embracing of the channel at a global level. All right, and that drives sustainability and training. We recently opened the solution center that we're sitting in here today, and that gives a completely that's a very significant step up in the type of engagement that we have with customers and with the channel. How do we enable customers to come in here, look, feel, touch technologies without what we've done historically, ask people to go to Europe or to the US? Allow people to bring in non-Dell equipment into our data center to look at the interoperability, because one of our foundations is standards-based. Allow people to bring in competitive products. Look at how they operate and test and work with Dell, right? I'm fairly convinced they'd want to leave their competitive product here once they've looked at the end-to-end solution. But you know what? We work in an interoperable open society, and that's one of the core foundational success factors for Dell.